This is the year na nagtataasan lahat. Smartphone, gasolina, kuryente, pati sahod. Ang hindi na lang tumataas is pagmamahal ng asawa mo or girlfriend mo. Charot. Kasi binigyan mo ng budget smartphone yung mumurahin lang Pag itong Motorola G100 5G ang binigyan mo sa kanya, tataas kayo yung value ng pagmamahal niya sa'yo. Usapan natin after this quick intro. Now, one of the reasons kung bakit ko pinili itong Motorola G100 5G is that despite everything's increasing, lahat ng smartphone, lahat ng brands, walang nakatakas talaga, no? It remains almost the same. Hindi pa rin siya tumataas. Siguro dahil wala na siya sa production and these are more of the mga leftovers or mga overruns ng Motorola. So I did take the risk and buy this one para i-review just for you. So makita natin yung box niya, very clean. Motorola G100 nakasulat. And probably magtataka ka bakit may logo na Lenovo dito. For your information, si Motorola ay binili na ng Lenovo Group. At least inform ka. So bubuksan na natin. So typical Motorola, dito nakatago yung maliit na box niya. And nandito yung phone niya outright. Labas muna natin. Huy, lumabas ka! Ayun, lumabas. So logo ng Motorola. Meron tayo warranty card inside. User guide. SIM ejector pin. This one I like. Maganda yung kanyang case, May pa-logo pa ng Motorola. Pero malambot siya. Just like any regular jelly case. Now, lalabas na natin to. We have our black na charging cable. Black din ang kanyang charging brick. 33 watts. Not bad. And of course, ilabas na natin yung phone natin. Uy, nice looking phone. Faux leather finish ang kanyang likod. Just like the G100 Pro na na-review natin previously. Na ito, Motorola G100 5G. Ang kanyang 8 gigs of RAM and 256 GB of storage. Currently, selling at 11,500 pesos. Pero if you use yung mga links ko on the description box below or simply just use yung YouTube shopping link natin dyan, baka makamenos pa kayo even lower than yung kanyang SRP. I've seen it went as low as 10,000 pesos. So, abang-abang lang kayo guys. So, during mga sale, baka bumaba pa kunti itong phone na ito. Now, like I said kanina, ang ganda ng kanyang likod. It is almost a faux leather finish. Masarap hawagan, no? Parang leather. Medyo saucy ang kanyang datingan. And I really like it. And this one, parang unibody siya, no? Isang buo yung kanyang camera bump. Hindi siya nakaseparate. And what's nice din this kanya is almost flat siya, except itong ring lang ito is nakaumbok ng bahagya, no? Pero hindi siya masyadong maselan pag nakalapag siya sa table. One thing to like is may audio jack pa siya dito. And sa ibabaw nakasulat Dolby Atmos pa. Overall ang kanyang protection, eco leather back. Meron tayong plastic frames. And we have a pretty good and solid na glass finish sa harap. I'm not quite sure kung anong glass yung ginamit ni Motorola dito. And by the way, this one has a IP64 dust and water resistant. So meaning kung na-splash to ng tubig, ulan, or medyo malakas ang ulan, kaya naman niya i-survive. Now, if you want the full complete spec sheet nito Motorola G100 5G, share ko sa inyo. Now, probably you might be wondering kung bakit nakasulat dito sa loob is the Motorola G67 5G. Dahil this one is a flash global na device. Ang kanyang original is G100 sa China pero finlash niya into global roam. Kaya magtataka kayo kung bakit Motorola G67 5G siya. Pero right now, it's already running under version 16. Yung nga lang, I don't think na meron pa siyang future updates dito dahil na-flash na into global roam. Check nyo na lang. No? This one has been with me for 2 weeks pero wala pa ako nare-receive na updates. Pero kung binili mo yung China ROM mismo, meron siyang update. Na kung tatanungin mo sa akin kung gumagana ang 5G neto phone nito, you're in luck. This one, gumagana. Globe Smart dito, wala kang mga problema sa 5G signal. And I was able to surf using 5G signal with my smart. Network connectivity, wala akong naging problema sa kanya. Mabilis naman mag-browse dito sa phone na ito. Now, probably one of the things na titingnan mo on a smartphone, despite this one, rolling na sa 10 to 11,000 pesos, having a 8 gigs of RAM. Physical, this is definitely one to consider. Kasi pag malaki ang yung RAM, pagdating sa multitasking, gumaganda ang experience. Smoother, wala kang maging problema kung medyo maraming apps ka binubuksan, and mas snappier mga apps mo. Now, I did try yung mga kailangan ko gawin on a day-to-day basis dito, like social media, doing my PDFs, opening mga spreadsheet ko sa work, and doing some AI din dito sa ChatGPT. Okay naman, lahat. Kaya naman niyang gawin. And even playing some games, which pag-usapan natin later. Now, probably one thing na hindi ko masyado trip dito is medyo a little bit older na ang kanyang processor. This one, having a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 2, and sinasabi ko naman sa inyo na it's not that new, no? And despite na nagtataasan na lahat ng mga ibang processor, ng mga 7 Gen 4, 7S Gen 4, you won't be seeing anything like this at this price point anymore. To think na si Honor X7e na may Helio G81, binibentahan ka ng $4999, and si Realme C100 na may Helio G92 Max, binibentahan ka ng $6999. Ito, at around 10 to 11,000 pesos, I would say solid na siya, no? Despite medyo a little bit older lang kanyang chip, but this is still way better than a G81 and a G92 Max. And pag tinignan mo naman sa Antutu benchmark, kung halos 850,000 points pa rin kaya niya ibigay sa'yo at this price point. Now, if you want to see all of the other benchmark na ginawa ko dito sa phone na ito, share ko muna sa inyo. Now, one of the things na gusto ko dito sa kanyang battery is malaki. 7,000 mAh ang kanyang battery, which is juicy, di ba? Malaman, malaki, dax na dax, no? Itong battery na ito. And it has a silicon carbon na technology, so ensuring na hindi mabigat tong phone na ito. And this phone is weighing at around 210 grams, and it supports up to 33 watts na fast charging na meron nakasama ng charging brick. So out of the box, matcha-charge mo siya na mabilis. Now, kamusta naman ang day-to-day usage ko dito? And honestly, itong phone na ito, ginamit ko naman siya on a day-to-day usage as my daily driver to do all of my multitasking. One whole day, guys, masasabi ko sa inyo, kahit papaano, lalagpas pa siya ng one whole day without even charging. Basta normal ka gumamit, hindi ka babad sa gaming, hindi ka rin babad sa pag-take ng video, kaya-kaya naman yan ng more than a day without even charging. And in fact, nung nilatag ko to sa PCMark battery stress test, 19 hours na screen on time ang binigay sa akin. Napag-usapan natin quickly ang kanyang display. 6.72-inch na IPS LCD. Yes, you heard it right. It's an IPS LCD despite this price range. Pero I would say na maganda pa rin naman ang kanyang quality. 120Hz ang meron niya dito and mataas din ang kanyang maximum brightness at 1050 nits. So meaning, kung nasa labas ka on outdoor, wala kang maging problema dapat dito sa phone nito. And I did try it. Wala ako naging problema naman sa kanya. Habang under the direct sunlight, kaya ko pa rin mag-browse dito sa phone na ito. And while I was browsing naman dito on social media, on indoors, expect to give you a good experience naman. With 120Hz refresh rate, browsing naman is smooth, okay naman ang experience ko dito sa kanya. As long as maganda naman yung connectivity sa internet connection, you shouldn't be having any problem dito sa pag-browse. And if you're watching naman your favorite shows naman dito on long format like YouTube and Netflix, expect naman na watchable naman siya and you should be enjoying naman yourself on this phone. Now, kamusta naman kanyang sound? This one has a stereo speaker and sa taas nakatatak pa siya Dolby Atmos. So medyo tumaas ko the expectation ko sa kanya. So let's check it out. Honestly guys maganda ang kanyang sounds, no? No, medyo pag sobra mong sinagad, parang medyo hindi lang ganun ka-smooth yung kanyang tugtog. Pero bawasan mo siguro nasa 90% na kanyang maximum volume. Okay naman siya. Pero pag sinagad-sagad mo siya, parang hindi lang ganun ka-ganda ang kanyang sounds. Based sa experience ko, sinasabi ko lang sa inyo katotohanan. Now, I was able to try 2 games dito sa phone na ito. Call of Duty Mobile and si PUBG. Now, one of the things that surprised me dito is that meron pa siyang game mode na kasama dito. And good thing is pwede mo pa makita ang FPS counter mo while you're playing. So, while I was playing Call of Duty Mobile, umahabot naman ng 90 FPS, no? And to some extent, may nakikita ko na umaabot pa siya ng 120, pero madalang lang, no? Most of the time, naglalaro sa 90 FPS. Pero pagdating sa heavy na battle, mapapansin mo siya na talaga magdadrop siya ng around nasa 70 plus FPS bisa FPS counter niya and hindi siya masyadong umaakyat, no? Lalo na kung medyo heavy na yung barilan, talagang andun lang siya, 70 plus. Pero kung tumatakbo ka lang, naghanap ka ng kalaban, most of the time nasa 88 to 90 naman siya. Now, one thing na napansin ko dito sa kanya is very responsive ng kanyang screen to my liking, wala akong naging problema naman dito sa kanya. Sounds is good, touch response is good, and pinakamainit na inhabot ko dito sa kanya is 43 degrees Celsius after an hour of gameplay. Pagdating sa PUBG, naka-achieve tayo ng 60 FPS and most of the time naman, bumaba siya ng roughly nasa 52 to 51. That is pag medyo heavy ng barilan, pero most of the time naman, halos quite consistent naman siya, 57 to 60. Pag naghahanap ka ng kalaban, tumatakbo ka lang. Okay naman kanyang touch response. Happy naman ako sa kanyang sound. So, wala akong naging problema dito sa kanya. And overall experience, I would say na I think mas nagustuhan ko ang gameplay dito sa PUBG compared sa CODM. And hindi rin siya mainit, no? After an hour of gameplay, 40 degrees Celsius lang umabot sa game na ito. Now, pag-usapan lang natin ang kanyang camera. To think na this one, despite yung kanyang price, not so bad ang kanyang camera setup. It has a 50MP na main camera sensor na may OIS. And meron siya 8MP na ultra-wide lens. Kaya na mag-shoot up to 4K and 30. Ang kanyang harap is 32MP which can shoot up to 4K and 30 as well. Now, let us quickly check some samples. On outdoors, you'll be able to get some nice and decent shot. And one of the things na napansin ko is dito, magandang kanyang focus sa subject, and one of the nicest thing dito is maganda naman kanyang pagka-background blur. And most of these shots, honestly, I was quite happy naman sa kanyang output. Yung mga greens dito, a little bit saturated, pero medyo lighter green ang kanyang saturation. Pero maganda namang tingnan, no? Kahit ang simpleng shot ng kalamansi, yung kanyang background blur is maganda. Very bokeh-ish ang kanyang finish. And habang nasa indoor ako, was able to take some really nice snaps naman dito sa kanya. Not one of the best at its price range, pero masasabi ko sa inyo guys na maganda ang mga output niya. So, the others are sharp, and depende sa lighting talaga masasabi ko sa inyo. Not everything is super duper nice dito sa kanya, pero most of them are really nice. Legit na maganda ang mga shots na nakuha ko. Siguro one of the things na medyo weakness niya dito is pag medyo dark, medyo hirap siya kunti. Pero kung maganda naman yung lightings mo, you'll be able to get some good snaps. Ito mga stuffed toys na ito are looking good. Though one downside lang niya is yung kanyang food shots is okay, pero hindi lang siya ganun ka-appetizing tingnan. In short, parang hindi ganun kalitaw yung kanyang pagkapagkain. Siguro hindi na-kick in yung kanyang AI to detect that it's a food, or hindi lang ganun kaganda siya for food photography. Pagdating naman sa hapon, trying to take a sunset shot, mukhang okay lang naman siya. And pagdating sa gabi, I would say na decent na mga na-snap. Not the best, pero one thing na napansin ko sa kanya is lumalaban yung kanyang camera sa mga glares ng lamppost. Pero overall, I would say still not bad. Another surprise is yung kanyang front-facing camera. Kita natin, no, not bad ang mga shots na nakuha ko dito sa kanyang front-facing camera. Maganda yung details na aking mukha. And pag tinignan naman natin on indoor, medyo nabawasan lang kanyang details sa aking mukha. Pero still not so bad, given na it can still give you some decent shot on indoor. Not bad. Here's a quick sample from the front camera. Shooting at 40 and 30 sa kanyang rear camera. Pretty decent. And hindi siya shaky. That's all I can say. And here's a video sample from the rear camera. Using its rear camera, 4K and 30 din ang kaya niya shoot. Also not bad, Quite stable naman ang kanyang quality. What you think? So guys, ano masasabi ko dito sa Motorola G100 5G? Well, I would say na pretty much sulit kung mabibili mo to at around mga 10 to 11,000 pesos. And promise guys, despite sinabi ko na this processor is a little bit older, pero given na meron siya 8 gigs of RAM and 256 cube storage, parang mahirap ka na makabili ng phone na ganitong setup at ganitong price point. Like I said kanina, siguro kung nakikinig kayo, si C100, ang pakin na kanyang processor, 16,999. Si Honor X7e, pakindi na kanyang processor pero is selling at 14,999. This one is still a performer. Kaya pa rin niya lumaban sa mga smartphone itong second half ng 2026 and probably carrying it over to 2027. So I would say kung meron kayong pera na roughly 10K ang budget, this is still a good choice. Si Motorola G100 5G. So guys, kung gusto nyo malaman kung saan pwede mabili ito, I'll pop the link on the description or just simply click yung YouTube shopping link para makakuha kayo ng vouchers coming from me to you. Hopefully, makamenos kayo, di ba? So kung nagustuhan naman itong video nito, don't forget to like, subscribe sa aking channel so you don't miss out mga future reviews ko like this one, si Motorola G100 5G na medyo madalang na may nag-review dito sa Pilipinas, sa YouTube. So paano guys, hanggang dito muna ako and I'll see you when you see me. Peace out. And so, ako para si Richmond and you're watching Gadget Sidekick. Like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. For one of my latest uploads, click dito. And for one of my popular uploads, click here.